Hey there, Captain Mutant here. It seems LEGO are really getting into the "our product isn't solely for kids" vibe, with an ever-growing number of sets being released in their new 18+ category. One such is part of a new botanical collection, the Bonsai Tree. Made up of 878 pieces, it aims to represent the unique technique of turning trees into miniature works of art. But enough chatting, let's get building. We start by assembling the tree's pot. There's nothing unusual about its creation, although it does make use of stud-on-the-side construction to give it a really nice, curved look around the sides. The top is finished with black 2x4 tiles, which are actually really prone to smudging. I did like the use of rubber tires on the underside. This is a fantastic way to make sure the pot doesn't slide around or even scratch the surface of whatever it's placed on. The tree itself is constructed on a slight angle compared to the pot, and this is achieved thanks to this white rotating base. The 4 1x1 round pieces secure the round plate above it and prevent it from spinning. In order to create the trunk's curves and twisted angles, we start with a couple of 3x2 plates with a horizontal shaft. This makes for a nice, sturdy, yet angled base. The tree is composed of a mixture of dark brown and reddish brown pieces. I like the stud-on-the-side construction to create a complex-looking trunk with more curves and irregularities than would be otherwise possible. The top of the trunk splits off in 3 directions, and that assembly only rests on 2 studs. But this connection is thankfully strengthened with the use of a long stud-on-the-side construction, which also gives the trunk a much-needed curve around its back. One thing I liked was the use of a brown frog at the top. The designer is a big fan of frogs, and a lot more are coming further on in the construction, but this unexpected solitary brown specimen did bring a smile to my face. Then comes the 3 large branches, which are made up of curved round pieces, and it's the first time this relatively new part appears in reddish brown. The trunk is finished off with 2 flexible hoses, which is once again the first time this part appears in that color. I also like the use of an elephant trunk piece to represent a root. Then comes an unusual move. The potting soil is made up of 200 round 1x1 tiles of different colors. This in itself isn't out of the ordinary, but I think it's the first time an official LEGO set instructs the builder to just randomly scatter pieces loosely without securing them to anything. The ship in the bottle did this before, yes, but those pieces were contained inside the bottle, nothing stopping this soil from spilling everywhere. The effect does look great, but be careful when you move the finished product around. As the box shows, you can finish off the tree in one of 2 ways, with traditional green leaves or with a look inspired by the Japanese cherry tree. We'll do the green one first. A tiny branch is laid first, near our solitary brown frog. The 3 leafier parts of the tree are all built in exactly the same way. What I did like, and just like a typical bonsai tree, is that you're encouraged to place the remaining 43 pieces of greenery however you feel, which again is an unusual design instruction from LEGO, but it will certainly give your tree a more unique look. The cherry tree option is built in a very similar way, although there is more foliage to play around and hence more complexity. It's also no secret that the cherry blossom is represented by pink frogs, 100 of them in fact, and I have a hunch that this must be the designer's favorite version. The branches and leaves are more intricate, and unlike its green counterpart, you have no option, at least not on paper, for where to place all the pieces. Finally, the wooden base is built. The construction is very straightforward to create a simple-looking surface for the pot to rest on. When that pot is placed on the base, either tree looks very striking. I really appreciate the fact that it's incredibly easy to change the leaves from green to pink, as it's actually designed with a quick changeover in mind. This is most welcome. Compare this with the wonderful LEGO Ideas treehouse, for instance, which also gave you the option to swap summer leaves for autumn ones, but the process took well over 30 minutes to complete. Here, it's all done in under 30 seconds. I find the bonsai tree very beautiful. It's a wonderful idea, very well implemented, but somehow I'm also a little disappointed. Out of 878 pieces, the trunk only makes up 92, and the wooden base actually feels superfluous since we already have the black pot to hold the tree in, and that base is made up of over 140 pieces, way more than the trunk itself. I feel like there's a little bit of an imbalance. Maybe the tree itself could have been more intricate had the base not being included. Now don't get me wrong, despite its simple construction, that base does look good. It's just that it feels somewhat unnecessary, and as a consequence, takes up a good chunk of the piece count, which could have possibly been used elsewhere or lead to a lower cost had it not been included. But this is what we have, and despite my reservation on that point, it still looks great, and I'm happy to give the bonsai tree 3 tentacles. That's all I have for today. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll speak to you next time.